Hello, Brother Sewing and Crafting family. Angela Wolf here, Brother Brand Ambassador, and I'm super excited to see you again. We have got a really fun project. I say we as in I'm doing it. It's actually Emily that's doing it, but I've seen a little preview of this, and I think you're going to love it. So yes, we are streaming on Brothers Sewing and Crafting Facebook and YouTube channels. We're very excited to see you, and do us a favor. If you're on YouTube, click subscribe and click like, and then you'll never miss a live show. And if you're on Facebook, be sure to follow us. And if you want to watch the show again, the easiest way is to share it to your page. So I see you all rolling in. Welcome, welcome. It is so nice to see you. And let's get started. We got Emily Thompson in the house, and this is going to be a lot of fun. Emily, come on up here. I think there you go.
Hey, everybody. So glad to be here. Oh, I'm here. Can you hear me? Oh, hi.
I am. There was just like all of a sudden there was
so
a
glad
delay.
to be here. Hopefully we don't have technical difficulties. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm going to take Emily out for a sec. Hey, Emily, do you have a second? This always happens when we go live. It was fine when we were chatting before. Emily, make sure you don't have another of the shows playing in the background. I'm getting two of you. And then I'll bring you back up and double check that. Hey, Amanda, Shelda, Lori, great to see you all. Great to see you. I'll wait till Emily comes back here. I don't know where she went. Emily.
Okay. Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So I didn't have it open, but I just went ahead and closed all the other tabs that maybe were open on my computer and tried to simplify. So hopefully this is better. I don't know what was going on.
You're perfect. You're perfect. You know, it's just the gremlins. It's the gremlins. And you know what? After last week, Emily, if you saw one of my shows, I've got a bunch of raccoons. Maybe they were chewing up the cords.
I did see those pictures. So fun. Well, I know that many of you, like on the East Coast or other things, still have some time before school starts, but my kids have less than 3 weeks of summer left. So we are starting, I will say starting, because we're not really in full back to school mode because I like to push it off as long as possible. But I am starting to think about things. Shoes. Rose and I went to the store and picked out some fabric for me to make her a couple of little dresses, but I haven't sewed them yet. So, we're just in the getting ready mode. But today we're going to make a back to school, first day of school t-shirt. And no matter how long it is until school starts, it's inevitable. If you have kids in school, they will be starting in the next weeks, probably whether it's 3 weeks or 6 weeks, time is ticking away. So today we're going to make.
Hey, Emily, I'm going to just take you out for a second, bring you back. You're frozen for some reason. So I'm going to take you out and bring you right back up. The gremlins are in the house. Oh gosh, that's what always happens during the live. So, all right, everyone else pop in, say hi. We'll bring Emily back up here. She just froze. We could hear her great. She was just like not moving. All right, let's try it again, Emily.
Okay.
No, we lost. No.
Can you can hear me but not see me? Weird.
I know. I'll take you out. Why don't you log out and just pop back in?
Okay. Hey, Max.
All right. Well, she's logging out and crawling back in. You know how the live shows go. And Emily has always the cutest things. So if you caught some of the last live shows this week, yesterday I was on my own channel showing how to do the border function on the Avenir. And I'm going to embroider some trim. Those of you that were watching, I embroidered the first color and I didn't like the second color. So I have a whole entire huge hoop of the dark pink to go on my tweed jacket. I didn't like it. So now I got to start from scratch. But the best part is, what did I say? The tool is very inexpensive. Stabilizer, not as inexpensive, but it worked okay. So now I got to try it again, which I'll show you next week. So let's see. I think Emily is back. Oh, yes. And you're moving.
Okay, good. Who knows what's happening? I just kicked my kids off the internet. Maybe we're bogging it down around here. I don't know. But hopefully this works because I have a cute project and I'm excited to share it. So this is what we're going to be making. Oh no. Well, it's kind of, okay. So I'm going to sew a quick t-shirt And then we're gonna put this fun sublimation print on it. And this is one I did for a video, but this was just a t-shirt that I bought. And then I actually did a sublimation on dark fabric. So you.
Oh no, it's happening again. All right. We'll wait till Emily comes back to us. We lost Emily again. You know, I swear it's, well, I don't know if it's hot where she is, but it's hot where I am. So we'll wait for Emily to come back. Give her a second. I see you all in here. Do you guys want to do a live Q&A while Emily's lost and then she'll be found? Deborah, you want to know what color I'm going to use? I don't know. I could ask for your vote, everyone here. What would be a good vote? If I'm adding a trim to this, I'm embroidering it on tulle. If you want to learn how to use your border function, you have it on the Luminaire, you have it on the Avenir. I did it yesterday, but I need some advice. I did the dark pink. It looked great. I didn't like the light pink. So I might just go use that gold that we were talking about. I don't know, but I think I see Emily back. This is going to be like the back and forth show. Let's see how it works this time. Hey, Emily.
Hi. Oh my goodness. Okay. I don't know where I cut off. What was the last thing? I was just talking and then I looked over and I'm like, oh no, it's black. The screen is black.
We'll give it one more try. And if it freezes again, we'll do the show again later, but we'll try again. Because I know with the heat and the summer, everybody's on the internet. Oh boy. All right. Should we give her one more try? We'll give her one more try. But I know that you can't control a live show, and we really are live today. Maybe we should have pre-recorded today. I don't know. What's on your sewing table today? It's going to be like the Q&A show until Emily comes back. All right. Any suggestions on colors for that tweed while we're waiting for Emily? And Julie says, take 3. Julie says, live Q&A. All right, go ahead. Hit it. Any questions? What will I do for color next week? I don't know, Deborah. You know, I love this tweed color. It's really pretty. Can you tell I just dropped it on the floor? Do you notice my studio? It's got some pink, white, gold. I just didn't like it. You know, I might even go back. Maybe I'll embroider the roses from the Avenir collection because that would look good on there. They might just be a little bit too big. So I might have to just design something new for it. I don't know. I'll let you know on Wednesday. So while we're waiting for Emily, we'll give it like just a couple more minutes. Otherwise, we'll have to do the show again later. Anybody have any questions? Oh, Amanda. Oh, this is fun. What kind of tea are you drinking? You know, I'm drinking green tea, just plain old green tea. I usually drink decaf after 11. This one's not, so I'll probably be up till 2 in the morning coming up with some embroidery for that beautiful jacket. I love tea, though. Coffee in the morning, tea in the afternoon. Amanda, gray? Well, I don't know if gray would look good on that. I could try it. I think what I'm going to do this time, Pete says purple. Well, we could try purple. We could try purple. I don't know. I think I'm just going to do one small design on each one to test the colors, and then I'll post a photo maybe on Monday, and you all can vote. And then on Wednesday, hopefully it'll be finished. All right. Well, I'm afraid we lost Emily. Totally lost. Oh, you have a darker version of that tweed? Yeah. You know that purple tweed that I had last year, Deborah? That one I used purple and like a taupey color for the embroidery. It turned out gorgeous. Oh, does it look gray on the screen? Oh, that's funny. It's like a gold. Here we go. Here it is again. It's like pink. Oh, I know. The gray you're seeing is gold. All right. Well, looks like we lost Emily. Do you want to see the border function I showed yesterday? I could show it again. Oh, thanks, Liv. Well, I don't need to show it again. You can just go back and watch the video. Just go back to Angela Wolf. Liv says, yes, I want to see it. Emily, oh, I think Emily's back. She's saving me from this. Hey, Emily, I'm going to have to come up with a project. All right, we're going to try it again?
Well, I just did a complete restart of my computer, and I mean, I don't know. Usually, sometimes that's a magic fix, but who knows? No, I do not want to update right now.
I'll let you take it over. I'm just going to let you take it over. If you freeze again, I'll pop in and take you out.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Thank you so much. Oh, I look like I'm frozen already.
No, you're moving.
Okay. All right. Okay. So I don't know if you saw, this is what I'm making. It's a cute first day of school shirt. We're going to actually sew the t-shirt, and then we're going to use sublimation to do this print. Okay. So this is using a technique of sublimation on dark fabric, which I have on my site, but we are going to make it on light fabric so we can use traditional sublimation. So Angela, if you'll just take me out for a second, I'll switch my camera over and we will get sewing.
Okay, I'll take you out, but I'm really afraid because if you don't come back, I got to come up with something to do. Julie, you want a tour of my studio? Not today. If you saw what I was looking at on both sides of me, you are looking at the clean section, the very clean. Oh, I have a thread. I just sewed. I finally hemmed my shirt and I have a thread. I just noticed that. Okay. All right, Emily's back. Let's bring her up.
Okay, I am here. So we are going to be sewing this t-shirt, and I'm going to be using my serger, the Airflow 3000, and I'm going to be using the cover stitch machine, and between those two, we can quickly create a really cute t-shirt. So this is a poly blend, lycra and poly. So that will be perfect for our sublimation because we know it doesn't work great on cotton fabric. And I don't like 100% cotton for t-shirts anyway, honestly. I really do prefer a softer, silkier fabric. So this should work well for the sublimation and for the t-shirt. So I'm going to sew this up real quick. This is my free girls swing tee pattern. And I call it the swing tee because it flares out a little bit at the bottom, which I think is just like a cute look. So I'm going to go ahead and sew this up and talk you through it. And it's a really quick, easy sewing project. So I'm sewing one of the shoulder seams. Okay, so you can see the front is lower than the back, and we have one of the shoulder seams sewed up. And then I'm going to sew on the neckline. And I love doing this before I have sewed the second shoulder. It's quick, it's easy, and I don't have to measure my neckband. So I've pre-cut a 2-inch wide neckband, and I've cut it with this direction of stretch going the long way, but I have not cut the length to size. So what I like to do is I like to just line this all up, and I'll take the open shoulder, I'll take this neckband, fold it in half with the right side up. So I'm looking at the right side of the t-shirt. I'm looking at the right side of the neckband. Actually, I don't think I am. This fabric is actually sometimes kind of hard to tell which is the right side and which is the wrong side because the loops and the knits, you know, usually you can see like the loops on the back side. It's not very defined because it's quite thin, silky t-shirt, or I don't know if it's necessarily t-shirt fabric, knit fabric. All right, so we have the top side of the t-shirt showing. We have the double fold neckband. I like to sew a couple stitches so that my needles are down inside the fabric. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to gently pull on this neckband, and we want to stretch it about 10 to 15%. And I just like to do this as I'm sewing. And I know that some very traditional sewers are probably dying inside as I do this without pinning or measuring. But as I've sewed a number of kids' t-shirts over the years, this is my preferred method. And for me, it is, I'm less likely to make a mistake, I feel like, than when I measure and try to sew it in a circle and have the neckband pre-measured out. So I really just like to do the stretch and sew method, at least that's what I'm going to call it. And you don't want to stretch too much. You can see how it's distorting a little bit there. Maybe you can't see. You don't want to distort the neckband but we do want to stretch it again, just about that 10%, and then sew. And I do have to stop every few inches to re-stretch and reline it up. But for the most part, I find this goes quick and easy. And then when I'm finished, I have a nice looking neckband with minimal effort. So you do have a seam in your neckband on that second shoulder, and that's the trade-off, and I'm okay with that. Okay, so then I'll trim off my extra and then put this up, and you can see we have a really nice laying neckband, and I didn't really have to fuss with it at all. So that's how I like to do it. So then the next step is to line up the band and the shoulder seam, and we're gonna sew across that second shoulder. Okay, so again, you do have that seam in the neckband on the shoulder. And then if you're using your serger, you have this serger tail of thread, and you have to make sure that you don't just cut that, because then those threads will fray. So I like to use a darning needle. You can also, to tuck the threads back inside the seam, you can also fold it over and stitch on your sewing machine. That way, that works well too. But I just like to pull it back through and then go ahead and cut that off. And then we do have that seam on the shoulder. See if it'll focus for you. We do have that seam on the shoulder, but I'm okay with how that looks, because I think otherwise the neckband looks really nice. Okay, so now we're going to pin in the sleeves, and I will say the sleeves are the one thing that I do pin, and because I don't always pin a lot of things. So we have this little cap sleeve. Okay, so it's a small little sleeve that's going to be inset, and then we want to match the front of the sleeve. Let's see here. Find the right side of the fabric. All right, so I'm going to match the edges of the sleeve on both sides, and then I'm going to work my way towards the middle, easing in. And of course, if I wasn't doing this live, I would move this over to the work table, but just because of the cameras and everything, I'll do it right here. But it is, of course, easier to do this on a flat surface when you can lay this out. But I'm a little bit limited on flat surface space over here by my sewing machines. Okay, so I'm just working towards the center. You can use pins or clips. I, of course, love using clips. And I'm kind of going back and forth from one side to the other so that I'm working my way evenly in towards the middle. You can also find this pattern does not have like a notch where it goes on the shoulder seam, and it's not quite perfectly the middle. So I don't want to just like find the middle of the sleeve and pop it on. So that's why I like to work in from the outside. And if you're working evenly, then it usually works out pretty well to be in the right placement when I'm finished. I'm going to go ahead and do the second sleeve clipping while I'm in clipping mode, and then we can just sew both of those. And literally this step right here is probably the most time consuming of the whole project, because I'm taking my time to clip it so that it looks nice and it's not wonky. No one wants a wonky shoulder seam. So matching right sides, again, I'm making sure the one side is just slightly fuzzier than the other. There's no way you'd be able to see that on the screen. It's looks pretty much the same on both sides, but hopefully I've gotten it figured out. There are sometimes I think I have the right sides of the fabric when it's hard to tell. And then after you sew it and the seam is finished, you can absolutely tell, oh, I did not do that right. The sheen, the way that it reflects the light is different, and I did it wrong. So 99% sure on this, but we'll see when we finished sewing. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and sew this seam. So you're working these 2 reverse curves. Okay, slowly. All my patterns, well, I don't know, most of them, this one include a 3/8 inch or 1 centimeter seam allowance. So I'm going to be taking that. So it's not a huge seam allowance, but it's a little bit more than just the width of the serger seam. And I have the settings on this just all 4s across the board. I find on this machine, for the most part, I don't have to play around with the settings too much unless the fabric is really out of the ordinary. But generally, it does a great job sewing so many different kinds of fabrics. All right, so there we have a sleeve. And you may notice, no, I have not sewed the side seam. So I'm doing the shoulder before I do the side seam. Okay, making that a little easier on myself by sewing it as an open seam rather than a circle. And a lot of t-shirts use this method rather than a set-in sleeve where you are sewing the side seam first, but just want to note that. Okay, so we're sewing the sleeves after the shoulder seams, before the side seams, and then I'm actually going to hem this before I sew the side seams so I can again do it on a nice flat open seam. So when I'm sewing for the kids and often for myself, I'm trying to think, one, what is going to be strong seams, right? Because for kids' clothes, we want it to last a while. We want it to be sturdy and strong, and they are not gentle, okay? They are not gentle at all on their clothes. So I need to think about function, and I also, need to think about strength. And for me, a lot of times I do that by taking some of these sewing methods where it's maybe not traditional, but is easy and keeps the seams as open as possible, rather than trying to sew in small spaces where I'm more likely to make mistakes. Okay, so now I have the sleeve here. The bottom is open. The side seam is not sewed. Okay, so there's the inside. You can see the shoulder seams and the neck band. And what I'm going to go ahead and do is hem this on the cover stitch by turning under a 1/2 inch. Okay, so I'm going to turn under a 1/2 inch, and we're going to sew that with the cover stitch. Again, lack of space here, but we got it. Okay, so I'm going to get a couple of stitches started. I'm using a 2-thread cover stitch set in the narrow position, which means the 2 needles are close together, and I did not leave a gap in the middle. So you can do 2-thread narrow and 2-thread wide, or the 3-thread. So for hems, I like to usually do the 2-thread narrow, which means the 2 threads are next to each other and putting that together. So there's my hem, okay, right, let's see, which way do I have to go on there? And then there's the back side with the looper in there. It's all very light colored thread, hard to see, but you can see how the cover stitch retains the stretch of the fabric, which is perfect for hems and sleeves. Okay, we're gonna do the second side of the shirt. Okay, I'm gonna again put this under, lift the needles. Because I'm just chaining off when I'm finished, we're just leaving the chain on there to start the next one. Okay, this cover stitch you can chain off. There are some, actually I haven't sewed on one because I've only sewed on this for other one, but I have heard that there are some other brands or models that you can't do a chain off, and I love on this one that you can just chain off because it makes it so easy. I don't have to worry about like cutting the threads or finishing the ends if I'm just sewing this straight seam like this. Now, when I'm sewing a circle, which I will do on the bottom hem of the shirt, I will show you how I finish that, and it's just a little bit different when we're finishing it in a circle. All right, there's the second sleeve. Okay, and we're ready to go back to the serger, and we're going to sew the side seams now. So because I already hemmed the shirt on the sleeve, we're going to start sewing on this hem because we want it to line up perfectly, right? This has to level out, and I can't fix that with a hem later because I've already hemmed it. So we need to line this up exactly, and then I need to sew that underarm, keeping those edges lined up. And what I will do is finish it with the darning needle like I did the neckline after I sewed. So going to the underarm and then down the side of the t-shirt. Now, these should line up pretty well, but if they don't, I am still going to hem the t-shirt. So we could trim or figure out, but it lines up perfectly. Sometimes I shorten or lengthen my shirts and I don't exactly measure like the front and the back the same. So then I have to fudge it a little bit when I get here to the bottom of the side seam. But this one is lining up really well. I'm gonna go ahead and finish this edge while I'm thinking of it. So I'm putting my needle inside that serger thing, then I'm pulling it through. And just a second, I'm going to put myself on mute because I need to tell my kids something.
Well, we'll let you go on mute. Everybody's popping in and saying hi. Hey, Darlene. Great to see you. All right, I think she's back. You back?
Yeah. Look at Rose.
She's headed back. When I see a thumbs up, we'll bring her back up. Does anybody have any questions for Emily? Because this looks really cute. I love it. All right, Emily, you ready?
Yes.
I got you back. Okay, back to you.
Okay, awesome. Sorry, I just, one of my sons is picking up my daughter, and I hadn't thought he left yet. So just need a reminder. Time to go.
There's a lot going on in the summers.
Oh my goodness, yes, trying to get it all figured out. All right, so we're sewing the second side seam, and you guys, this t-shirt is coming together so well. I don't know if you've sewed t-shirts. Actually, it was funny when I was at the store and the lady was cutting this fabric. She's like, "Oh, what are you making?" And I said, "Oh, some t-shirts and some dresses." And because I bought other fabric at the same time. And she was like, "Oh, some people say this knit is so hard to sew with, and some people say it's so easy." And I said, "Well, I'm probably one of those people who would tell you it's easy, because for me, when I've sewed a lot with it and having these great sewing machines, I do find knit fabric so easy to sew with generally. And I just love how quickly the projects come together, because when you are busy with a million things, I need projects that come together really quickly, but also still look fantastic. And that's what I do love about knit t-shirts and knit clothing, is that it is quick and easy generally. And oh my goodness, looks so cute so quickly. So we have this, look at the t-shirt. Okay, so it needs a bottom hem, but otherwise, how fun. And I will back this up and I will show you in just a second. Okay, we're gonna hem this shirt. It's a little bit longer in the back than the front. Okay, that's part of the like swing look of it. And I can put the link to this in the comments sometime when the show's over, or you can just on Life So Savory search swing tee. But I was looking yesterday, and when I first designed this, my daughter was so tiny, and she probably was wearing like the smallest size, and now she's wearing the second to largest size of this pattern. And it's, goodness, time flies. Okay, so I'm turning under about 3/4 of an inch. I've slid the fabric underneath, and I'm just going to go ahead and turn it under, and then I'm going to sew. There's nice ruler guidelines so you can create a nice straight stitch on here. Okay, but I haven't pinned or clipped this up. I'm just turning it under and sewing as I go. You absolutely could pin this or tuck it up and then mark it and hold it with clips. And sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Of course, right now, since I'm trying to not go back and forth to the work table, that I'm just turning it under. You know, the advantage is that I didn't have to do the clips. The disadvantage is I have to stop every couple inches, and I do have to refold it, reline it up, and go around. The bottom of this shirt is a slightly curved hem, slightly curved, but with the knit fabric, it's not a big deal at all. So there might be a couple spots where I'm easing through the curve with the fabric, but generally it's just folding under and sewing along the bottom. Okay,
hey, Emily, just a quick question for you. I will bring this up since while you're over there, because Liv wants to know, are you on the double cover stitch machine? Will you let them know what is the number of that cover stitch?
Sure, yes, this is the double cover stitch. So it's the CB 3550, and it does have the double cover stitch capabilities where it can have the looper on the top and the bottom. Right now, I am not using the top looper, okay, because I'm just doing a hem and I don't want it to look as sporty as I would say the double cover stitch does. For sportswear, it is perfection. For just a regular t-shirt like this, I probably wouldn't use the top looper, but that's what's so amazing about this machine is that you can use all 5 threads. Right now, I'm only using 3 threads. There's just so many different ways that you can adjust the functions and get a number of different looks for whatever you're sewing out of it. So hopefully that answers the question. Okay, so I have overlapped about 2 inches in my stitching, and then I'm going to go ahead and raise the needles. So now we've just created a circle with this cover stitch. So we need to finish this a little different than just chaining off. So I'm pulling out the threads to give myself a little bit of room to pull the fabric. And then I'm just with my foot, the foot pedal, going to chain off a couple of stitches, and that gives you a loop that, because I pulled those threads through or pulled them out, gives me a loop on the back side. And then with that pin, I can just go ahead and pull the stitches. So I've pulled the threads from the front side of the fabric to the back side of the fabric. And then the manual for this machine says you can just go ahead and cut the threads, but I always tie it off with a square knot. Okay, so I don't know. It can't hurt, right? Little knot on the back, never hurt. It doesn't take me long. It's just a little square knot on the back. I tie it off, and then I just clip the threads, and the hem is finished, and the shirt is finished. So I'm going to go ahead and swing this back around to a full view so we can see the shirt and we can press on our cute back to school design.
All right. While she's headed back over to the table, I'll take her out for a sec. We can hear you, just can't see you for a sec, Emily. And there's a ton of people rolling in. Welcome, everyone. Emily's showing us how to make a simple tee, and she's going to add a little bling to it with the sublimation printer. It's going to be fun. We're glad the gremlins got away, and she's here joining us. They just needed some coffee, right, Emily?
Yeah. My computer needed a restart. Maybe I need to do that more often before I even remind me next time to say, have you restarted your computer lately? Maybe that's what it needs. So, okay.
Love it. All right, back to you.
Yes. So here is the t-shirt I just sewed up. Okay. It is cute, easy, breezy, and light colored, perfect for sublimation, which is what we're going to do. Okay. So the next step, and if you're just rolling in, here is the print that we're using. Okay. It says first day of school vibes. It's a cute first day of school shirt that you can make for any age. And on my site, it's available in both a sublimation print and a vinyl cut. So you could change up the colors if you wanted with the vinyl if you cut the vinyl. In sublimation, of course, it's just the one color, unless you have the capabilities to change up the color of a sublimation. But it's these colors, and then, but you could change it up. Okay, so this is what we're going to be printing. And I'm going to go ahead and show you how we're transferring it to Artspira. And we're going to use Artspira to transfer to the sublimation printer. Okay, which I'll pull right here. All right, so we're going to use the sublimation printer. And we're going to use Artspira. So I have, let's see. Don't save, cancel, cancel, cancel. I just want to show you how I pulled it up on Artspira. So I'm going to go ahead and lower the color on this so that you can, whoops, the wrong way. You can see my phone a little bit better. I have yet to figure out how to make an iPhone go with my non-iPhone computer.
It's just a little blurry there. There we go. Perfect. Perfect, Emily.
So we're going to go to new, and we're at printing, design editor. We're just doing a letter size. That's what it prints. Here's my artboard. It pulls up. We're going to go to image, camera roll. Okay. And then recents. And I have this design that it pulls up. Okay. So one tip that you want to do is you can see, maybe, can you see the blue box around the text? If the size of your, the size of your image is outlined by a big border before you have that blue, you're going to want to go in and trim the image, because I can only make it as big. I can't put it outside. It won't let me put the print outside of the design. So I'm going to actually go back and wait, I want to rotate this. Select, change, nope, crop, rotate. There it is. Okay. I think I can make it a little bit bigger. Maybe not. I thought I had a print where it was, okay, here we're going to go. This is just a little tip. We're going to go back to the image on my camera roll. And here just on the camera, we're going to crop it. So I want to pull this as tight as I can next to the text, because then it's going to make it easier for me to put that onto the artboard later. Okay, so we're going to save that. We're going to go back to Artspira. We're going to cancel out of this. We're going to go new, design. We're going to, good. We're going to go to camera, camera roll, all photos, because I'm going to pull that new cropped image. Oh, and you can see, okay, so much better. So the blue box is way more fitted, which means we're going to be able to maximize this look so much better. Okay, so hopefully that made sense. You have to fit it within the red lines on here, but I want to make it as big as possible as I can. Okay, see that? All right, so we're going to go to okay. Done. I do not need to save this. It's a picture I have. And now we're going to print it. It automatically reflects it, and it's printing to the Brother SP1. So I'm going to walk over here, and we're going to hit print, make sure it's awake. Okay. And then it says the transmission is complete, and we're going to wait for it to print. Now, while it's printing, I'm going to bump this color up.
While it's printing, I also have a couple of questions for you, Emily.
Okay,
so,
perfect. Go for it.
What is the fabric content of your, Sandy wants to know what's the fabric content of your fabric, you know, is mostly poly?
Yes. So I don't know. I did look when I was at the store, and I didn't take a picture of it, but it is mostly poly and a little bit of Lycra. So,
okay. That's
but more than 60% of the poly, and it's like a silky, wrinkle-free, knit, so you can definitely tell that it's a synthetic for sure. But yeah, I did check the content to make sure that it was a high percentage, just so I know that the sublimation will have a better chance of working on it. But I didn't write down the exact content. So
okay, that makes sense. And Lorraine, hopefully that helped your question too. You have to have polyester for this to work.
Yes, a high content of it for sure. Now, if you want to do it on a more cotton fabric or on a dark fabric, this is what I did for this one, is they actually sell a vinyl that you can sublimate on, and using the scan and cut, it makes a project like this so easy. So I scan my design into the scan and cut this first day of school. Then I save that design, and then I cut the vinyl so this has vinyl under the sublimation print, but you can't tell because it is so perfectly cut. So you use the sublimation vinyl. So you put the vinyl on, and then you can do that on 100% cotton or on a dark fabric. And then you sublimate your color onto the white vinyl. And then you have a really cool color print with your sublimation, whatever your sublimation is, onto whatever fabric. So that's just a little hack if you're using dark fabric or a fabric that is the wrong content. Okay, here's our first day of school. It looks pretty light. Now it is pastel colors, but it will be darker than it looks when we finish. And that's just, it's always the way that it comes out. So I'm gonna put my pressing pad here. I'm heating up my heat press. We're going to lay the shirt out. You want it, of course, flat and even and wrinkle free. We can. And then gonna find the center of this print. We're gonna place it on the shirt. Okay, and then we're gonna use the heat press for about 45 seconds on here. Now, with sublimation, oh, I just turned off the power, not the timer. With sublimation, you do not have to press. Like, oh yeah. With vinyl, with vinyl, you actually want to use some pressure if you don't have a heat press that does pressure. But with sublimation, it's really all about the heat, not the pressure. So I'm just holding this on. I don't want to slide it. I don't want my design to get smeared in any way. So I'm just putting it on and keeping it without sliding, and then letting that heat do the work to transfer the design to the fabric. All right, so once it's done, I didn't tape it on. Sometimes I'll use heat resistant tape to tape my design in place, because then I can check a corner, and if the design I feel like is not fully transferred, then I'll put it on again. But let me just go ahead. Oh, it looks pretty good. So here we go. Look at how fun that looks on the t-shirt. And the colors are actually, I don't know if you can say, they look really pretty bold on here. I know it's pretty bright, but it actually transferred really, really well. And the vibes is just an outline, but it's really cute on there for the first day of school. So there we go. And actually, Rose is home, so maybe she can model it for us.
This is so cute. Rose.
She says she's busy. She can't model right now.
Such a life of a kid.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I absolutely love it. Does anybody have any questions for Emily? Because you made the shirt and decorated it all under an hour, way under an hour. And we didn't even start for 15 minutes because the gremlins were here. That's the easiest project ever. Everyone's like, I love this. I love this. Yeah, I do too.
So absolutely, if you could buy a white t-shirt or a light colored t-shirt and just use this design. If you search back to school or first day on my site, you'll find this print and the cut file as well if you want to make it out of vinyl. But yeah, you can use this or you can sew the t-shirt, and you can just have lots of possibilities of getting ready for school to start in kind of a fun way, and have a t-shirt to get yourself hyped up when sometimes it might be a little hard.
Hey, Rose, do you like your new shirt?
Do you like the shirt? Will you put it on just over your shirt? She'll put it on for us. Okay. So,
she's like, fine.
right.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
She came back. She should have stayed away if she didn't want to model it.
Hey, Lori, she mentioned earlier that she just got it at a fabric shop. You just have to make sure that you have at least 65% polyester is usually the general, but you want mostly polyester to be able to have that stay on there. So hopefully that helps.
And I would say most fabrics that are like slinky, slidey are.
Oh, Rose, you look gorgeous.
Here, step over here. We can get the full.
And it fits you perfect.
Yep. There we go. Turn around. Give the twirl.
I love it. I love it.
So,
Rose, it's so cute.
Yeah. I like this fabric. Maybe not the wording.
She likes the fabric, not necessarily the wording. But who wants to think about school in summer?
And also, I don't. First day. Then I can't wear it any other day.
Can't wear it any other day. No, it's kind of a first day thing.
Oh, that's right. You can only wear it for one day. Well, enjoy it. Wear it all. You can practice. That's really cute.
Yeah, you can wear it in the summer. In fact, actually, this purple one that I made for a different project, she was wearing at our family reunion this summer. It was a good play shirt. It is a good play shirt.
And it got muddy and dirty and ripped. I did not care.
Oh, hey, that's a great idea. These could be your new muddy, dirty shirts.
That's right. After the first day of school, they're your paint shirts for the rest of the year.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. By the way, I have your website scrolling down below. Yeah, we've got Brother Sews on there, AngelaWolf.com. You've got Life So Savory. And, do us a favor. Follow us on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram. Yes. We love to share what we're working on, but also we like to see what you're working on. So we use hashtag Brother Sews. We can see that. Everybody's saying hi to Rose.
Yay! She's my little model, although less excited about it than she once was.
That's okay, though. All right. So even if you're watching the replay, you can ask questions because the social team, Brother Social, will contact Emily or I and we'll answer for you. But what a cute project. I have no questions. It was absolutely adorable. Yay. I love the cover stitch look on there. I went and cut I had a string hanging, Emily, while we were trying to get you on there.
And so, trim.
I know. Patty said, I can't believe you hemmed. I go, I did. I finally hemmed.
Yes.
And I have strings hanging.
Yes. Well, sometimes it takes a while to get around to those final steps.
Isn't that the truth? All right. Well, hey, thanks again. Thanks for the great project, brother. Yeah. I will see you on Tuesday with another great project. Who's coming on Tuesday? Oh, Tina Bartlemy. I saw what she's working on. You're going to love it. So until next time, Emily, thanks so much. And everyone, happy sewing.
Happy sewing.
Attach the embroidery frame in the initial sewing position.